Dr. Elena Vasquez adjusted the quantum bioscanner's resonance frequency for the third time that morning, her 4 amber eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of the holographic displays surrounding her workstation. The laboratory aboard Research Station Kepler-7 hummed with the constant activity of the Galactic Scientific Consortium's most advanced xenobiology division, but today felt different. Today, they were examining something unprecedented. Computer, enhance genetic sequence Delta 7 through Delta 12, she commanded, her voice carrying the melodic undertones characteristic of her Zilithian heritage. The hologram shifted, revealing a complex double helix structure that pulsed with an almost hypnotic rhythm. Human DNA. At first glance, it appeared unremarkable, carbon-based, nucleotide sequences following standard biological patterns, evolutionary markers consistent with a Class M species that had achieved sapience approximately 200,000 years ago. But Elena had been studying genetic structures for over 3 decades, and something about the human genome made her scientific instincts recoil in alarm. Fascinating specimen today? Dr. Kethmore inquired as he approached her station, his 6 legs creating a rhythmic clicking against the polished metal floor. The Vortex scientist's compound eyes glittered with curiosity as he examined Elena's work. His species had been part of the consortium for nearly a millennium, and his expertise in comparative genetics was legendary. More than fascinating, Elena murmured, her voice tight with concentration. Look at this, Kethmore. Standard human genetic structure, everything we'd expect from a recently contacted species. Typical neural development patterns, reasonable physical adaptation markers, even some interesting artistic and mathematical inclinations. She gestured to a section of the hologram, highlighting specific gene sequences. But buried here, approximately 47,000 base pairs deep, past all the obvious biological functions. She paused, running another scan to confirm her findings. There's something else entirely. Kethmore's antennae twitched, a sign of intense focus among his people. Junk DNA? Evolutionary remnants. That's what I thought initially. Elena's fingers danced across the control interface, bringing up comparative analyses from 17 different species. But the encryption patterns are too exactly. Elena highlighted another section of the DNA strand. I've been running decryption algorithms for 6 days straight. The complexity is beyond anything in our databases. It's almost as if the encryption itself is designed to resist analysis by advanced civilizations. She brought up a new display showing her preliminary findings. But I've managed to decode some surface-level information, and what I've found is... She hesitated, checking her results once more. Terrifying. Kethmore leaned closer, his scientific curiosity overriding his growing concern. What kind of information? Combat algorithms, Elena said quietly. Tactical processing subroutines. Enhanced reflexes and coordination protocols. Accelerated healing factors. Improved pattern recognition specifically designed for warfare and survival scenarios. She pulled up another screen. And here's the truly disturbing part: adaptive technology integration. The ability to rapidly understand, modify, and improve upon foreign technologies. Dr. Nymira's crystalline form resonated with harmonic frequencies that indicated shock. You're suggesting the humans are genetically programmed warriors? Not just warriors, Elena corrected, her voice growing more troubled. Something far more sophisticated. Look at these activation triggers. She highlighted specific genetic switches embedded throughout the mysterious code. The protocols don't activate in response to normal predator-prey relationships or environmental hazards. What triggers them? Kethmore asked, though his tone suggested he already suspected the answer would be unpleasant. Elena's expression darkened as she brought up her most disturbing finding. Species-level extinction threats. Overwhelming technological disadvantage against hostile forces. And most concerning of all, she paused, her 4 eyes meeting Kethmore's compound gaze. Betrayal by trusted allied species. The implications hung in the air like a toxic cloud. The humans currently aboard the station were part of a cultural exchange program, preliminary to their species joining the Galactic Consortium. They had been nothing but cooperative, eager to learn, grateful for the opportunity to expand beyond their home system. But if Elena's analysis was correct, humanity wasn't just another spacefaring species seeking membership in galactic civilization. They were something else entirely, a weapon designed by an unknown creator, lying dormant until the right circumstances awakened something that could threaten the established order of the galaxy itself. We need to The emergency session of the Galactic Scientific Consortium's High Council convened in the crystalline chambers of Station Nexus Prime, orbiting the neutral system of Kepler 442. Representatives from 23 species materialized through various means, some physically present, others appearing as holographic projections, and a few existing as pure energy constructs within specialized containment fields. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood at the center of the amphitheater, her research data floating in three-dimensional displays around her. The weight of her discovery pressed down on her shoulders as she faced the most powerful scientific minds in known space. Behind her, Dr. Kethmore provided silent support, his presence a reassuring constant in the face of what was about to unfold. Esteemed colleagues, Elena began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustic enhancement systems. 6 days ago, we made a discovery that fundamentally alters our understanding of the human species and poses a potential threat to galactic stability. High Counselor Merthak, a towering crystalline entity whose thoughts resonated through harmonic frequencies, projected skepticism into the chamber's shared consciousness network. A single species, barely capable of faster-than-light travel. Currently, no, Elena answered. Our observations indicate they remain largely unconscious of their true capabilities. Their recent conflicts on Earth demonstrate only a fraction of their potential. But the activation triggers. She paused, knowing her next words would send shockwaves through the assembly. The primary triggers include species-level extinction events, overwhelming technological disadvantage against hostile forces, and, most critically, betrayal by species they consider allies or protectors. The chamber erupted into chaos. Multiple species began communicating simultaneously, their various methods of discourse creating a cacophony of sound, light, and psychic energy. War Commander Thexera's aggressive posturing activated defensive protocols among several pacifist species, while the energy-based ethereals flickered with agitation. High Counselor Merthak's harmonic resonance cut through the noise, demanding order. Silence. Dr. Vasquez, continue your report. Elena waited for calm to return before proceeding. We estimate that if fully activated, human combat protocols would provide capabilities equivalent to our most advanced military technologies, combined with adaptive learning that would allow them to overcome technological disadvantages within days or weeks rather than decades. Impossible, declared War Commander Thexera. No single species could challenge the combined might of the consortium. That may have been their creator's intention, Dr. Kethmore interjected. Consider this. A species designed specifically to emerge when galactic civilization becomes corrupt, stagnant, or tyrannical. A reset mechanism. The implications struck the assembly like a physical blow. Elder Vasme of the Ancient Order, whose species had guided galactic development for over 2 millennia, spoke for the first time in the session. You suggest they were created to replace us? Elena nodded grimly. The evidence points to exactly that conclusion. But here's our immediate problem. Our very investigation may trigger the protocols we're trying to understand. If the humans discover we've been studying them without consent, if they perceive our research as a threat or betrayal. She let the sentence hang unfinished, but every being in the chamber understood the implication. What do you recommend? High Counselor Merthak inquired, his harmonics shifting to deeper, more serious frequencies. Elena took a breath before delivering her conclusions. Immediate cessation of all covert genetic research. Full disclosure to the human delegation currently aboard our stations. Complete transparency regarding our findings and Ambassador James Morrison felt the subtle vibration of the station's deck plating beneath his feet as he walked through the corridors of Research Station Nexus Prime. After 18 months of careful diplomacy, cultural exchange, and technology-sharing agreements, humanity stood on the precipice of joining the Galactic Scientific Consortium. It should have been a moment of triumph, but something had changed in the aliens' behavior over the past week. Ambassador. Dr. Rebecca Torres caught up with him, her footsteps echoing in the pristine hallway. Her face carried an expression of barely controlled anger that immediately put Morrison on alert. As humanity's chief xenobiologist on the diplomatic mission, Rebecca had been working closely with consortium scientists to facilitate the integration process. "What's wrong, Rebecca?" Morrison stopped walking, noting how the alien crew members in the corridor seemed to avoid making eye contact. "I've been analyzing the medical examinations they've been conducting on our people," she said, pulling out her tablet and displaying genetic scan patterns. "These aren't standard diplomatic health screenings, James. They're conducting deep genetic analysis, the kind of invasive testing you'd perform on laboratory specimens, not on potential allies." Morrison felt his stomach drop as he examined the data. "How long has this been going on?" "Since we arrived. Every routine medical check, every cultural adaptation assessment. They've been mapping our entire genetic structure." Rebecca's voice carried a bitter edge. "We haven't been guests here, James. We've been test subjects." Before Morrison could respond, his emergency communicator crackled to life with the urgent voice of Captain Sarah Mitchell from the UES Pathfinder, humanity's first interstellar vessel. "All human personnel, we have a code red situation. Long-range sensors detect a massive consortium fleet surrounding Earth. I repeat, our homeworld is under blockade." The corridor seemed to spin around Morrison as the implications hit him. 18 months of friendship, cooperation, and trust. All an elaborate deception. They had been studied, catalogued, and now Earth itself was held hostage. Across the Sol system, the effects of betrayal rippled through humanity like wildfire. On Earth, military commanders found themselves analyzing tactical situations with unprecedented clarity. Dr. Michael Park, working in the trauma center of Seoul Metropolitan Hospital, noticed his patients recovering from injuries at impossible rates. His own reflexes seemed sharper, his diagnostic abilities enhanced beyond normal human capability. "Something's happening to us," he told his colleague, Dr. Amara Okafor, as they watched a patient with severe burn injuries heal before their eyes. "It's like our biology is awakening." In Geneva, General Patricia Hayes stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, watching as tactical displays showed information that shouldn't have been available to human sensors. "How are we detecting stealth signatures on ships that our technology shouldn't be able to see?" she demanded. "I don't know, ma'am," her aide replied, staring at readouts that defied explanation. "But it's like our computers are learning, adapting, becoming more sophisticated by the hour." Aboard the UES Pathfinder, Captain Mitchell experienced the most dramatic changes. The ship's systems, built with consortium-provided technology, began revealing hidden subroutines and backdoor access codes that would have allowed alien control of humanity's vessel. Captain, her tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera, reported with growing. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood frozen before her monitoring arrays as impossible data streams cascaded across dozens of screens. The transformation occurring throughout human space defied every biological principle she had studied in her 4 decades of xenobiology research. What had begun as simple genetic activation was becoming something far more profound and terrifying. Genetic expression rates are beyond theoretical maximums, Dr. Kethmore reported from his station, his compound eyes reflecting the pulsing red warning lights that now bathed the laboratory. Human cellular regeneration has increased by 400%. Neural pathway efficiency is improving exponentially. Their reaction times are approaching the limits of carbon-based biology. Elena manipulated the holographic displays, watching in real time as humanity underwent rapid evolutionary acceleration. It's not random mutation, Kethmore. Every change is purposeful, directed. Their creators didn't just embed combat protocols. They included complete biological optimization routines. Junior researcher Flixtar, a young Vortex scientist whose enthusiasm usually brightened the laboratory, now spoke with trembling antennae. Dr. Vasquez, the technological readings from human space are equally impossible. Their computer systems are rewriting fundamental code structures. They're incorporating our technologies and improving them faster than our most advanced AI systems. Show me the Earth Defense Network, Elena commanded, though she dreaded what she might see. The main holographic display revealed Sol systems surrounded by the imposing consortium blockade fleet, 200 vessels representing the combined military might of 17 species. But something was fundamentally wrong with the tactical picture. The primitive planet that had possessed minimal defensive capabilities just days ago now bristled with energy signatures that made no scientific sense. Warprime Gorth materialized in the laboratory through emergency transport, his mechanical frame sparking with agitation. Those energy readings, what are they? We've never encountered weapon signatures like those. They're not weapons, Elena replied, her voice hollow with realization. They're hybrid technologies. The humans are taking our systems and evolving them into something entirely new. Look at these power output readings. They've somehow increased the efficiency of our own fusion technology by orders of magnitude. On the tactical display, they watched Captain Sarah Mitchell's voice crackled through the communication arrays with calm authority that sent chills through the assembled researchers. Consortium Fleet, this is Captain Mitchell of the United Earth Defense Force. You have attempted to hold our world hostage based on fear and misunderstanding. Your weapons are now disabled. Prepare for immediate boarding and inspection. Warprime Gortha's mechanical laughter carried bitter irony. Defense Force? They didn't even have a unified military command structure a week ago. They do now, Elena observed grimly. The awakening isn't just biological and technological, it's social and organizational. They're becoming what they need to be to survive the threat we represent. Across the display screens, they watched human boarding craft approach disabled consortium vessels. But rather than the violent assault everyone expected, the encounters proceeded with surgical precision. Human teams disabled security systems, neutralized resistance without casualties, and began systematically cataloging every piece of technology aboard the captured ships. Dr. Kethmore's analysis confirmed their worst fears. They're not just stealing our technology, they're understanding it completely. Weapon systems that took our civilization centuries to develop, they're mastering in hours. The biological monitoring shows continued acceleration, reported Flixtar. Human brain capacity is expanding. They're developing new neural structures we don't recognize. And their cooperation levels. He paused, checking his readings twice. It's like they're becoming a collective intelligence while maintaining individual consciousness. Elena felt the pieces of a terrifying puzzle clicking into place. Their creators weren't just preparing them to defend against threats. They were preparing them to replace galactic civilization entirely. On Earth, the transformation continued at an breathtaking pace. Dr. Michael Park found himself understanding alien medical technology at levels that should have required decades of study. More disturbing, he was instinctively improving upon alien treatments, creating hybrid medical protocols that surpassed anything the consortium had shared. Amara, he called to Dr. Okafor, run a full biological scan on yourself. The results left both physicians speechless. Bone density increased by 40%. Muscle fiber efficiency beyond theoretical human limits. New neural pathways that enhanced cognitive processing. Most remarkably, genetic markers indicating extended lifespans that could potentially reach several centuries. We're not becoming something else, Dr. Okafor whispered in awe. We're becoming what we were always meant to be. Elena watched the transformation data with growing dread. The protocol evolution is accelerating beyond their creators' original parameters. The humans are becoming something their designers never anticipated. Warprime Gorth turned his mechanical sensors toward her. What do you mean? I mean, Elena said quietly, that we may have awakened something that even an advanced galactic civilization might not be able to control. High Counselor Merthak stood before the emergency assembly of the Galactic Scientific Consortium, his crystalline form resonating with frequencies that betrayed deep concern despite his attempt at diplomatic composure. The great chamber aboard Station Nexus Prime had never witnessed such chaos. Representatives from 47 species speaking simultaneously through various communication methods, creating a cacophony of panic that threatened to overwhelm the translation matrices. Order. We must have order. Merthak's harmonic voice cut through the confusion as holographic displays around the chamber showed the devastating reports flooding in from across consortium space. War Commander Thexera's serpentine form coiled with agitation as she delivered her military assessment. In 72 hours, humanity has neutralized 6 complete battle fleets without a single casualty among our forces. They've disabled 437 vessels, stripped them of technology, and returned them with modifications we cannot comprehend. Her voice carried the bitter taste of impossible defeat. My own flagship was boarded by 12 humans who bypassed security systems that should have been impenetrable. Elder Vasme of the Ancient Order, whose species had guided galactic development for millennia, spoke with trembling authority. The reports from the occupied vessels are unprecedented. The humans didn't interrogate our crews. They simply touched our computer systems and downloaded complete technological databases. Then they began improving upon designs that took us centuries to perfect. Dr. Elena Vasquez materialized through holographic projection from her research station, her 4 eyes reflecting the exhaustion of constant monitoring. The transformation continues to accelerate beyond all theoretical limits. Human cognitive capacity has increased by 300% in the past week. They're developing technologies that integrate biological and mechanical systems in ways we've never conceived. How is this possible? Demanded Counselor Euthera, her bioluminescent patterns flickering with distress. No species should be capable of such rapid advancement. Because they're not advancing, Elena replied grimly. They're remembering. The genetic programming includes complete technological and social templates. Everything their creators learned over what must have been millions of years of development. The chamber's central display activated, showing Ambassador James Morrison's face. But the human who appeared bore little resemblance to the eager diplomat who had arrived 18 months earlier. His eyes held depths of knowledge that seemed ancient, and when he spoke, his voice carried an authority that made esteemed counselors. Morrison began, his tone calm yet carrying undertones that resonated with primal fear. I address you not as a supplicant seeking membership, but as a representative of humanity's true nature, which your actions have awakened. War Commander Thexera hissed her defiance. You are prisoners aboard disabled vessels. You are in no position to negotiate. Morrison's expression didn't change, but data began appearing on screens throughout the chamber. Real-time displays of consortium worlds where human cultural exchange personnel had been stationed. With respect, War Commander, we have awakened individuals on 74 worlds across your territory. They're currently demonstrating the same capabilities you've witnessed in Sol System. The implications struck the assembly like a physical blow. Humans had been present on consortium worlds for over a year as part of cultural exchange programs. If they had all undergone the same transformation, Dr. Rebecca Torres appeared beside Morrison, her presence somehow more commanding than before. We've decoded 87% of our genetic programming in the past week. We understand what we are now, and more importantly, we understand what you've become. What do you mean? High Counselor Merthak asked, though harmonic tremors suggested he feared the answer. You're a stagnant civilization, Torres replied with clinical precision. 2 million years of technological development, and you've created a rigid hierarchy that suppresses innovation, maintains inequality, and prevents true advancement. Our creators designed us to emerge when galactic civilization reached exactly this point. Morrison leaned forward slightly. We're offering you a choice, counselors. You can work with us to transform your societies into something better, or you can resist and discover what happens when a reset mechanism encounters determined opposition. Elder Vasme's ancient voice carried newfound uncertainty. Reset mechanism? Our creators called us the gardeners, Morrison explained. We're designed to cultivate galactic civilization when it becomes corrupt or stagnant. We don't conquer, we inspire, we demonstrate, we improve. But if necessary, his expression grew somber. We replace. War Commander Thexera's aggressive posturing intensified. You threaten the entire consortium? We don't threaten, Torres corrected. We demonstrate capability and offer partnership. The choice is yours. Elena's voice crackled through the communication system. Counselors, the monitoring data shows human capabilities are still expanding. In another week, the choice may no longer be ours to make. High Counselor Merthak's harmonics shifted to deeper. Morrison's expression softened slightly. Immediate cessation of hostilities. Genuine partnership in rebuilding galactic civilization based on principles of equality, innovation, and sustainable growth. An acceptance that the old ways are ending, whether through cooperation or replacement. The chamber fell silent as the weight of humanity's ultimatum settled upon the assembled representatives of galactic civilization. The emergency session had stretched into its 30th hour, with representatives from 47 species locked in desperate deliberation aboard Station Nexus Prime. The holographic displays surrounding the chamber showed a galaxy in rapid transition. Not through warfare, but through something far more unsettling: voluntary capitulation. The Kepler Coalition has formally requested human assistance in restructuring their entire governmental system, reported Admiral Kethvise, his aquatic form rippling with distress. 3 star systems in the Vega sector have invited human advisors to modernize their technology. The Centauri Trade Federation is implementing human economic models that promise to eliminate poverty within a standard year. War Commander Thexera's serpentine coils writhed with frustration. They're conquering through seduction rather than force. How do we fight an enemy that makes our own people want to join them? Dr. Elena Vasquez had been monitoring the transformation from her research station, and her latest findings sent chills through the assembly. The humans aren't just offering technological advancement. They're demonstrating social frameworks that solve problems our civilizations have struggled with for millennia. Crime rates on worlds with human presence have dropped by 90%. Interspecies conflicts that have raged for centuries are being resolved through human mediation. At what cost? Demanded Elder Vosme, though his ancient voice carried less conviction than before. What freedoms are they sacrificing for this stability? High Counselor Merthak's harmonics shifted to display the latest reports. According to our observers, none. The human model appears to enhance individual liberty while improving collective welfare. Their governance structures adapt to each species' unique needs rather than imposing uniform systems. The central display activated, showing not Ambassador Morrison, but Dr. Rebecca Torres speaking from what appeared to be the bridge of a vessel that defied classification, part biological, part mechanical, incorporating design elements from dozens of species yet somehow cohesively human. Counselors, Torres began, her voice carrying the weight of vast knowledge. We understand your dilemma. Change is frightening, especially when it comes from an unexpected source. But consider what your own people are telling you. She gestured, and testimonials began appearing from across consortium space. A draconian military officer spoke of human conflict resolution techniques that had ended a bitter civil war in days rather than. "We're not imposing change," Torres continued. "We're offering evolution. Your species can maintain their identities, their cultures, their autonomy. We simply provide frameworks that allow civilizations to reach their full potential." Counselor Euthera's bioluminescent patterns flickered with conflicted emotions. "And if we refuse? If we choose to maintain our current systems?" Ambassador Morrison appeared beside Torres, his expression carrying both sadness and determination. "Then you'll discover that stagnant civilizations don't survive contact with growing ones. Not through conquest, but through irrelevance." The chamber erupted in heated discussion as species representatives struggled with the implications. The humans weren't threatening destruction. They were offering obsolescence as the alternative to cooperation. Dr. Elena Vasquez materialized through holographic projection, her 4 eyes reflecting exhaustion and awe. "Counselors, I've been studying the human transformation for weeks now. What we're witnessing isn't just technological advancement. It's the emergence of a post-scarcity civilization. They've solved resource limitations, eliminated scarcity-based conflicts, and created sustainable expansion models." War Commander Thexera hissed her skepticism. "Impossible. Every civilization faces resource constraints." "Not when you can restructure matter at the quantum level," Elena replied grimly. "Not when you can terraform worlds in weeks rather than centuries. Not when your social systems eliminate waste and maximize efficiency without sacrificing individual freedom." Elder Vasme spoke with trembling authority. Show us what you're truly offering." Morrison nodded, and the chamber's displays transformed to show detailed blueprints. Governmental structures that prevented corruption through transparent accountability, economic models that eliminated poverty while rewarding innovation, technological frameworks that enhanced life without creating dependence. "This is what our creators learned over millions of years of development," Morrison explained. "We're not asking you to abandon your heritage. We're offering you the tools to perfect it." "And if we choose poorly?" High Counselor Merthak asked. Torres's expression grew solemn. "Then in 50 years, when your civilizations are struggling with the same problems that have plagued you for millennia, you'll watch as the rest of the galaxy moves beyond you. We won't conquer you. We'll simply leave you behind." The choice hung before them like a quantum equation: cooperation or irrelevance, evolution or stagnation. 5 years after the awakening, Dr. Elena Vasquez walked through the crystalline corridors of the New Geneva Research Institute on Earth, marveling at how much had changed. The building itself represented a perfect fusion of human innovation and alien expertise. Consortium engineering enhanced by human creativity, Zilithian architectural principles improved through human adaptability, and Vorthak environmental systems optimized by human efficiency. "Elena!" Dr. Rebecca Torres called out, approaching with a tablet that shimmered with quantum-encoded data streams. Her appearance had subtly evolved over the years, enhanced cognition had refined her features, and her eyes held depths of knowledge that would have been impossible in baseline humanity. "The deep space monitoring arrays in the Andromeda sector are detecting something extraordinary." Elena accepted the device, her own enhanced Zilithian vision, improved through human bioenhancement technology, scanning the complex data patterns. "Another seeded species?" "Multiple species," Torres replied, barely containing her excitement. "At least 7 distinct genetic signatures showing the same artificial modifications we found in human DNA. Our creators didn't just prepare for one galactic civilization's stagnation. They prepared for the entire local cluster. The implications were staggering. Humanity's mysterious creators had seeded species across multiple galaxies, each designed to emerge when their respective civilizations reached critical stagnation points. The galaxy was just one garden in a vast cosmic greenhouse project spanning millions of years. "Status of the protocol evolution?" Elena inquired as they walked toward the central laboratory complex. "Stabilized at optimal levels 18 months ago," Torres reported. "We've reached what our genetic memories term Gardner standard. Enhanced but still recognizably human." extended lifespans averaging for centuries, cognitive capabilities increased by roughly 400%, physical optimization without losing our essential humanity. Elena nodded approvingly. The transformation had been remarkable to witness from a scientific perspective. The holdout civilizations? Elena asked, though she suspected she already knew the answer. The hegemony formally requested membership in the new consortium last month. Torres smiled. Turns out maintaining authoritarian control becomes difficult when your neighbors are offering technological advancement, social prosperity, and individual freedom. War Commander Thexera personally delivered their application. Elena wasn't surprised. The human approach had been brilliant in its restraint, demonstrate superior capabilities, then focus on improvement rather than conquest. Species across the galaxy had voluntarily adopted human-designed frameworks because they simply worked better than anything they had previously known. Dr. Vasquez, Dr. Michael Park approached, his medical scanner indicating the subtle genetic optimizations that all humans now carried. The improvements were invisible to casual observation but revolutionary in their effects. Enhanced immune systems, accelerated healing, improved cognitive processing, and extended lifespans that promise centuries of productive life. What's the status of the Deep Space Archaeology Project? Elena inquired. Remarkable developments, Park replied, his expression mixing wonder with profound respect. We've located 17 sites across the galaxy containing preserved facilities of our creators. Not just ruins, active installations with complete historical records. Torres leaned forward with interest. What did we learn? They called themselves the Cultivators, Park explained, a civilization that spanned multiple galaxies and existed for over 50 million years. They seeded hundreds of species with enhancement protocols, each designed to emerge at specific technological and social development points. And their fate? Elena asked, though she suspected the answer would be bittersweet. They transcended physical existence approximately 2 million years ago, Park replied solemnly. But they left a message for their gardener species. Not just instructions, but a simple statement. Grow beyond what we achieved. Learn from our mistakes. Cultivate something better. Elena looked out through the laboratory's transparent walls at the bustling spaceport where vessels from 43 species departed on missions of exploration, development, and peaceful expansion. The galaxy was transforming at an unprecedented pace, not through conquest or coercion, but through the irresistible appeal of genuine improvement. Any word from the other galactic clusters? As Elena watched ships departing for distant stars, carrying mixed crews of humans and aliens working toward common goals of exploration and improvement, she understood the profound gift humanity's creators had bestowed. They hadn't just enhanced one species, they had created a catalyst for the evolution of consciousness itself across cosmic scales. The protocol had worked exactly as designed, not creating conquerors, but nurturing gardeners who would tend the growth of something greater than any single civilization could achieve alone. And across the universe, other gardens were beginning to bloom.